Heidi ho, guys and gals. If you've never been to a Menards, if you've only ever been to Home Depot or to Lowe's, you're gonna have your mind blown by what a big box store like this can be. It's a hardware store, it's a home store, it's a grocery store, it's a toy store, it's everything. Lowe's has tried to expand. They tried to go to kind of like the Tractor Supply kind of route. If you turn around and look, it's like Menards is already there. It's like a Walmart superstore and Home Depot and Lowe's and Tractor Supply all rolled together. We got magazines, we got books. My wife loves shopping there. We don't have them in our area, so I don't get to cover them very often. But anytime we're in Menards country, she goes bonkers. And I got to admit, I love going there as well. Tons and tons of great stuff because you can get all your shopping done kind of in one place. Menards is just kind of off the hook with what they have. They even have a refrigerated section where you can get frozen pizzas and milk and whatnot. Here you can see it here. It's not a huge section. It's not like you're going to see at like Albertsons or whatnot, but like, hey, you're already there picking up this other stuff. Grab a gallon of milk, get some orange juice or some butter, some cheese or something. They've got it there for you. A quick dinner here for you. If you just want to be lazy tonight, they can cover you there too. And if you need stuff for the kids, for lunches, dinners, tons of canned stuff. Anyway, I could go on and on about it because really their selection is that big. Again, it's not as big as like a full-fledged grocery store, but it's more than just the essentials. And then if you need stuff to cook it in, they've got pots and pans. Now, I will say this, if you didn't know, Home Depot, I'm not sure about Lowe's, but I know I've seen it at Home Depot. I've seen like some cast iron and some cookware, usually for the outdoor cooking kind of stuff. But this has got it all. It's got some Lodge. It's got, I think I saw some like knockoff Hexclad kind of stuff. All sorts of utensils, both for indoor and for outdoor cooking. They really have it all. And they've got all the, kitchen accessories to go with it. If you're looking for small kitchen appliances and stuff like that, they've got mixers and toaster ovens and everything else that you could possibly want. And yes, before someone asks, they have appliances. Here we can see, your standard kitchen, side by side. We have the bottom freezer side by side there. Yeah, and the prices, they're basic kind of prices. This is one thing, though, I just look at this section, though, kind of speaks to the thing about Menards, is it kind of gives you this, like, it's not like super professional polished like you see. Look at this. It's not that super over the end, everything's, matching colors kind of stuff like you see at Home Depot and branded orange and branded blue at Lowe's and whatnot. It almost feels like it's a family run store and you're back and looking at the appliance section and stuff. And then you turn around and you see, beds. Like full size, every kind of, type of bedding you want, from coil to spring combos, the whole nine yards. It's amazing the home goods that they have here, the home stuff. Going back again through the food section there, yeah, we got all the juices as well. I tell you, it's kind of weird. It's like, and sometimes it feels overwhelming. And then you think about like what they have at Walmart and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a bigger selection, but they have a lot of unique stuff, like stuff you wouldn't see at Walmart, especially local stuff. I remember finding a local root beer that we don't have out here in Montana. In fact, you can see it there in the candy cotton or cotton candy balls. There it is in the yellow boxes. And as far as the rest of the store, again, there's a lot of, I saw a lot of as seen on TV stuff. I see a lot of the smart home kind of stuff. Probably a bigger selection than you're going to see at Home Depot. Maybe Lowe's might compete for it because I definitely got the feeling this is not going for the professional as hard as Home Depot is. They're going for the homeowner who is looking for all sorts of stuff. Look at this. We got a pet section. Lowe's recently tried to upgrade their pet section, saying they were partnering or trying to be like, an accompaniment to Petco or whatever. They don't hold a candle to what Menards has. There was, my kids were telling me there was a whole aisle with bird seed, and half the bags have been ripped open by the birds that get into the store. As far as cats, birds, dogs, the whole nine yards there, they had it all. And a great selection of it as well. And look at this. Now you're looking like you're going into a furniture store. if you don't know it, you can order some furniture from Home Depot and from Lowe's. They're usually online only. But and you'll see some furniture at Walmart and stuff like that. But this is like going into a separate furniture store. They've got recliners, they've got beds, they've got chairs, they've got giant sectional couches, plus the typical outdoor kind of stuff that you're going to see more at your other big box stores. So they have an amazing selection, and I don't know, maybe it's not up your alley, maybe it's not the kind of thing you're looking for, but it just gives you the idea of the size and the breadth of the selection that this store has. Every time I go in there, I'm just constantly amazed. We stopped in, I think, 3 Menards on this shopping trip, and I was stunned each time we went in because it's like I've been here before, and yet I'm still overwhelmed by how much stuff they have in stock. Now we're going to get a chance to see some of their outdoor power equipment. First thing we see here is their Master Force stuff here. Now this is their cordless line. It is OEM'd to them. It's their internal house brand in the same way that you see Cobalt is the house brand over at Lowe's. You can see more of it here. I'm not exactly sure who's making the outdoor power equipment. It could be Chervon. Chervon, we do know, makes their hand power tools. So it would not be surprised if it is. They have a close partnership with Chervon. We do know that. In fact, some of their hand power tools, they also carry the skill line as well. So that's at least 2 lines of Chervon tools that we know are in there. We also see, as for outdoor powerworks or power equipment, we see Greenworks. Here's that Champion generator that we see all the time over on Amazon. We talk about it. It's a great generator there. And now let's look at the selection they have here for mowers. It's, everyone else is moving away and carrying smaller lines, more of same amount of mowers, but a smaller choice of mowers, if you would, from different brands. Yardworks here, I think this is a brand that I'm not sure, but I've only ever seen it at Menards. Briggs and Stratton there. We got Greenworks. There's what else do we see here? We see their Master Force line, of course. Works, which is the other brand that we see here a lot with the power tool kind of stuff. Again, and look at this is stuff you're not going to see at a lot of other stores. At least they might have it available online, but you're not often going to see that kind of selection in store right there on the shelves. You can just pick it up and go. Now we come over here and we look at their garage storage. I thought this was a great selection, really good looking cabinets here. I'm going to get in a close up so you can kind of tell what kind of pricing here and compare whether it's going to work for you. I mean, here's the other thing, by the way, for those of you who have Home Depot where you are, I think I mentioned this before, they will honor the rebate as well. Here we got some more of the hedge trimmers and such, blowers, and the wrapping up the outdoor power equipment. They did have some gasoline options as well. In fact, they had a fairly extensive gasoline OPE range of equipment there. Whereas we know that Home Depot's saying that they're going full force into the electric. Here's a whole selection of the as seen on TV. Now, if you are susceptible to the whole gadget kind of thing the same way I am, it's hard to resist stuff like this sometimes. Now, I had to check these out, the Menards mugs here. Look at the price on that. But I couldn't for the life of me find the caps for them. I'm sure they're around there somewhere. I'm sure I was just overwhelmed or whatnot. But that's a heck of a price there. I'll have to do a comparison against some of my Yeti stuff. And then let's get to the hand tools. Now, their hand tools, we do know for a good long time, their hand tools were being made by Apex. Now, Apex makes a ton of hand tools. They're probably the largest hand tool manufacturer out there. And but I've heard recently that they changed providers, and so I don't have exact confirmation who makes them. But you're going to see a much more extensive range here because they do kind of cross over into this farm and ranch kind of demographic where you're going to see people coming in with small to medium to lightweight tractors, homesteading kind of situations. More rural is what we're talking about here. And as such, you're going to see a lot of the bigger wrenches and bigger sockets and stuff like that on the shelf that you just won't see at Home Depot or Lowe's, but I'll see when I go into a cow ranch or a Murdoch's or a Tractor Supply, because they know these guys need these bigger things for working on the equipment that they have. It's a great selection. It definitely gave off prosumer vibes in many areas. Now they have some really cheap stuff as well, got kind of covering that Harbor Freight kind of category as well. But their Master Force line, and that's really what you look at here, that is definitely getting into that prosumer realm, almost the value pro kind of realm. And we got bench tools, we got a lot of stationary tools here. A good selection of them. Hand corded tools. Again, I always like to emphasize for you younger guys, I know it's real tempting. You always want to look at the cordless kind of stuff. But trust me, as one of the older guys who's been around here doing this, the corded stuff is it's invaluable, especially around the shop and around the home. There's always a place to plug it in. If you're not, you just get an extension cord. You don't have to worry about whether your battery runs out, and they just work. And if they get too tired there, you replace the brushes and you're back at it again. Bosch is the other big line that they carry there. So they do cater to that higher end homeowner crossing over into the professional realm, of course, the Bosch routers. But the Master Force line has really expanded. I was stunned. I know they'd been expanding it. I know it'd been getting better. I was in Menards I think it was last year. I even since then, I think there's been a lot more tools released. We can see they also carry the Bosch line we've talked about there before. And the Skill is their consumer-esque, by the way. And as I said before, these are both made by Chervon. So you're getting both of these Chervon brands in here. I see the Master Force being a step higher than the Skill. And then also something you almost never see, and that is Works. And Works has really brought more to the game. And you don't ever see them on display where you can get your paws on them and take a look at them. Again, more some of the benchtop power equipment, it didn't quite go to the level you're going to see it like a Home Depot. There is one item here that was super hot. Now, of course, the Skill table saw, that's a great DIY weekend warrior kind of table saw. But the one that really caught my eye was their version of, I know it's a version of the Metabo, but it looks a lot like the Metabo. It does a lot of the same things the Metabo does. We're going to show it here in just a minute, but we got to show the miter saws first. They got a ton of the miter saws, starting with the Bosch Glide, working our way on down. The Bosch Glide is a fantastic saw. And they've got some really cheap saws in here as well. I think there's some Evos in there. If you want to do some buy material, they can do wood, they can do metal as well. Fun thing about with the Evo saws, and they had some really cheap ones as well. Some of the larger air compressors, that was surprising to see. Harbor Freight's gotten away from those, but you can still find them at Home Depot and stuff, and definitely again at the Tractor Supply kind of places. And again, I feel that real vibe here at Menards that they're catering to just everyone at this point. They're like, we're going to carry it all. They're like, should choose this one or that one. They're like, why not all of it? It kind of has that feel. There's that saw. It has the outfeed table. It has the ratcheting mechanism. Look at that cart. It comes on the stand there with the big wheels for going over rough terrain. Just a great looking saw. I definitely want to get my hands on that one and give it a try. It's going for under $400 right now with that Menards 11% rebate that they always do. And I know people are going to ask, what about the cabinets? What about the cabinets? I saved them for last. And I got to tell you, the cabinets are great. You can't say anything wrong about the cabinets. I love the locking mechanism. It's just like on my Tecton. I think it's way better than the U.S. General. It really is. But I still think like the U.S. General Series 3 tabs. Now look at that. The work surface, I'm a little bit jealous of that, I will admit. But the rest of it, I don't feel is the same kind of, it's not that heavy as a tank kind of stuff you see from the U.S. General system. In some ways, it feels a little bit more polished, but it doesn't feel quite as industrial as the U.S. General. And then they've got this as their budget version. This just felt weird. Like the top cabinet, there's no handle to open it. You got to just kind of get in there and get it open. I mean, it's a good size, and I'm sure when it's on sale, it's a nice price. But that they're always working that 11% rebate there. So you got it. And of course they mail that to you. Then you got to use it in store. The handles are kind of weird. It's none of these are soft close, but look at it. They got this little tab on the side. It doesn't do anything. It just makes it feel uncentered, and it's weird. And also none of these, neither this nor the Master Force version. This is called, was it Performance? Or anyway, I don't know what it's called. Anyway, There it is, right there on the screen. But none of them seem to be full extension, and some of them are worse than others on the drawers, which is weird. It's like, why would one drawer on the top half come out more than the drawer on the bottom half? I don't understand that. The wheels were okay. Again, it's not. I would say it's a step above the Yukon. I wish the Yukon came out with a cabinet like this. That'd be great to give some people some real entry level stuff. Again, now that U.S. General has really picked it up into definitely the prosumer, almost value pro kind of level. Let me show you some of the backs here. You can see how these things attach. These little hook, kind of bolt down hook systems there to keep the thing from falling off and crushing anybody. Of course, you got your cable pass throughs, and that's pretty much standard and whatnot. I'm not saying they're not decently made boxes. This is the big box here. This is going to compete against the big U.S. General. It's the power thing on the side. On a box this size, on a cart, I get it. On a box this size, I don't know. I don't need it. It's got decent wheels, but again, the wheels don't seem as robust. And I'll be honest, the latches on this one were not as nice feeling as the taller cabinet. It was weird. And we went to two different stores, and I got the same feeling from both of them. They felt super cheap on the larger box. It makes no sense. And again, you don't get the full extension, which on a box this size, that kind of money, full extension is, I think, going to be the biggest issue. For people asking for soft close, I'm not a huge fan of soft close. I don't care about that. I do love the latching mechanism, the style, but I like the one on my Tectons better. Of course, my Tecton costs 2 or 3 times the price per square inch, so it should feel better. Anyway, it's a good box. I'm not trying to say it's a bad box. If you want to go this route, you're not. I don't think you'd ever be like, oh, I'm so sorry about it. And that wiggle there, by the way, you always see people doing that. It's not a big deal. They all wiggle when you have them halfway out. It's whether does it wiggle when it's fully extended. That's the question you need to be looking at. And does it fully extend? I don't know. It's probably 90% as good as the U.S. General. That's what I'm going to say. That's my takeaway from it. Anyway, let me know what you think about shopping at Menards. Don't forget to chomp the old like button, smash the subscribe, ring the bell on the way out. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.